Hello, my wonderful, beautiful eggheads. Are you a gamer, live streamer, or digital artist? Do you know someone who fits this description? If so, then you're in the right place. Let's get down to brass tacks and talk about the benefits of a gaming desk. Now, I don't know what kind of desk you have right now, but I want to first share a quick personal story. Okay, I love saving money. I'm very passionate about it. That's why I'm here. I love helping people like you save money. And if we are meant to spend our hard-earned dollars, well, it better be for something that delivers value, helps us earn that money back, and maybe even more. All right, so my first computer desk a long time ago was a $25 flimsy abomination. It was actually 4 PVC pipes as legs and a plastic top. Okay, it was flimsy, it wobbled, it shook. I mean, this thing was terrible. When I tried to play games with my friends, I couldn't aim right because in the heat of battle, the desk would shake and I'd lose. I couldn't play as well as anybody. When I was trying to use Photoshop and trying to do anything that involved distinct movements, my desk would shake and I'd have to retrace my steps. I'd get frustrated. Everything would take more time and therefore, yes, I wasted money. The space on the table was so cramped and tiny. When I was writing my college thesis, I wanted my computer here, my books here, and my journals here, but it was all cramped together. I couldn't think. I got so frustrated, I think it actually affected my personal life, right? If only there were a large, spacious, sturdy desk that could help someone like me reach my potential without these annoying, tedious interruptions. There is. Enter the Vitesse 55-inch computer gaming desk. Here we are. Okay, let's first talk about the space. The first thing you need to note about this desk is the space. This desk has more space than my ex-girlfriend wanted from me. Just kidding, sort of. But the space is massive. And for gamers and digital artists, space is king. The more space you have, the less focused you are on the clutter, and the more energy you can put into your work or into your game. And some research suggests that the type of desk you have can actually affect how well you play your games. The exact dimensions: 55 inches long, 23.6 inches deep. This desk is constructed with premium density fiberboard with a PVC surface and a high durability steel coated frame. It has an L-shaped design with 4 leveling feet to make sure your desk always stays perfectly horizontal. Oh, say goodbye to those wobbles. I hate wobbles. The carbon fiber surface finish is stylish, durable, waterproof, comfortable to touch, and the steel tube frame is firm enough to support up to 260 pounds of load. So don't worry, it'll be strong enough and big enough to support all the great Newegg products that you want on your desk. The tabletop itself is quite thin, which is awesome. That means it's super customizable, perfect for desk lamps, microphones, or whatever else you want to clip on. You'll also notice that the desk has a cup holder. That sounds a little dangerous, okay? You no longer even have to spend 2 calories to get up and get a drink. Can anyone say Counter-Strike and Jello shots? I'm just kidding. Coca-Cola. The gaming controller rack. So PS4 controllers, headsets, place a phone there while playing a mobile game. You can put movies here, anything you want to make it your gaming universe. Put that on the desk, really completes the feel. And you'll notice on the bottom, there are actually 4 USB ports. So this gaming controller rack actually doubles as a charging station. So if you need to charge your phone or your tablet or any other kind of smart device, external USB, plug it in, whatever you need, they have taken care of you. At the back end of the desk and behind, you'll notice first 2 cable grommets and an entire cable organizer. So they have given you everything you need to minimize clutter and maximize space. They've really thought it out. And the last surprise I have for you here is the entire surface is a freaking mouse pad. The entire thing. Vitesse has really gone all out in thinking about everything that a gamer needs, and it really shows. This whole surface is a mouse pad. So no matter how you game or how you work, you have the most expansive place to play. You have the cable grommets and the cable organizer to minimize your clutter. You've got the cup holder, you've got the headphone hook, you've got the controller rack, and a surface that can handle as much baggage as a teenager getting dumped before prom if that metaphorical baggage weighs 260 pounds. Yes, it is a little more expensive than 4 PVC pipe legs and a plastic top, but it pays for itself over and over again with how much time you save being efficient and how much energy you save not being frustrated. So, if you are a gamer, live streamer, or digital artist, or know someone who is, treat yourself to a spacious, sturdy, well-designed table. Remove physical limitations, set your mind free with the Vitesse 55-inch computer gaming desk. What's up, Eggheads? Kenan here with Newegg Now, always bringing you the best products for the best prices. In this video, we are looking at the CREALITY Ender-3 Pro 3D printer. This is such a good 3D printer, one of the best out there in this price range. If you're familiar with the Ender-3, then you'll be very happy with a few upgrades in the Ender-3 Pro. If you're new to 3D printing entirely, then I highly recommend this. It comes very neatly packed with a simple 12-step assembly right here, very easy to follow. If you've assembled a 3D printer before, it'll just take you 10 or 15 minutes. If you're brand new, maybe 30 minutes. The assembly tools are included, all right? And this is what you end up with when you're done. So let's take a closer look. First of all, welcome to the future. This thing looks so cool. You're really involved in cutting-edge technology with this in your hands. So congratulations. I want to point out some upgrades that the Ender-3 Pro has over the Ender-3. Firstly, the new power supply, all right? The brand is Meanwell. It's a UL certified power supply, high quality unit, and very thin. Check out how thin that is. It's almost invisible when you look at the printer directly from the front. I bet from this angle, you can barely even see the power supply, right? So that is very good, not intrusive at all, not bulky at all. And with this new power supply, the printer will have better temperature fluctuation. It can heat the hotbed up to 230 degrees Fahrenheit or 110 centigrade in just 5 minutes. The fan doesn't even turn on that much, and when it does, it's pretty quiet as well. All right, it's also going to protect your printer from unexpected power surges. It has the ability to resume printing even after a power outage or some type of error occurs. So overall, just this power supply alone makes the Ender-3 Pro a much better solution for printing ABS and other high temperature, high strength filaments. All right, first let's check out this big build plate. All right, such a large surface area. The total build volume is 8.7 inches by 8.7 inches by 9.8 inches. All right, so you can go wild and really create large and complex models here. The build surface plate is magnetic as well. This provides all-around protection to your printer build plate and ensures consistent temperature throughout the build surface. And it also makes it easy to remove the printing models after cooling. Now, of course, I just want to remind you, magnetic surfaces lose magnetism over time if they're exposed to temperatures for long periods of time. You probably already know that. So even though the upper limit of the power supply is 110 centigrade, this plate will begin to lose its magnetism over 80 degrees centigrade. You probably won't go higher than that, but if you need to do so, you might need to buy yourself a specific high temp plate. All right, the Ender-3 Pro has been upgraded with a sturdier 40 by 40 aluminum extrusion for the Y-axis base. This should improve the overall stability of the printing surface. The V shape with the wheels make the extruder move very precisely, silently, and smoothly. We'll see that in just a moment, actually. I'm already heating up the plate now. We're going to print a little something. Their patented triangle slot with POM wheel really adds to the durability and how smooth it is. So just so much about this makes it the best printer out there for beginners and a great printer even for the pros. So let's wait just a moment. We're heating up. We're already at 159 degrees. We're close to that 200, and then it's going to start printing. We're at 175, 176, 178, 180, 182, 183, 185. I've chosen a model from my TF card, and I've loaded it here on the nice display. Very simple to use button, very easy to understand control panel. I basically toggled TF, click the button, and it starts automatically. And look at that. It's working nice and smoothly. It's very, very quiet, just so good. Hopefully you're able to get an idea of its accuracy, its precision, and just how smooth it is. It's really quite elegant. And now, with the power of editing, we'll cut to the future and see what happens. The Ender-3 Pro is OSHS certified, open source hardware certified. All hardware CAD files, board schematics, and firmware files are available and update on CREALITY's GitHub page. You can also find other premium 3D printable models at Thingiverse and My Mini Factory, or even, building your own model. So you're not alone when you do this. You've got this whole community building together. That's really, really neat. It's already so easy to operate, and that just makes it even nicer. Check this out. I've made a little maze. Get a little close up here. There's so many things you can do. That took me just about an hour. I also made a keycap for my keyboard. So you can customize just almost anything you use in life. Just to make something a little silly and cute for you guys. Right. So gamers out there might like that. So yeah, I'm super impressed with CREALITY's Ender-3 Pro 3D printer. Its simplicity to the max. It's got incredibly stable performance. Just look at this. It's a win-win all around for sure. The control panel is easy to understand. There's an extra fan to blow underneath the nozzle. These large knobs under the build plate are great. So easy to get really precise for bed leveling. You just home it, you use the steppers and a piece of printer paper to orient the nozzle distance, right? So just a few pro tips for you. Tighten your bolts as necessary. Okay, it's possible that the pre-assembled parts had bolts that weren't completely fastened before shipping. All right, so when you're assembling the Ender-3 Pro, just spend ample time checking the bolts. You want everything moving smoothly so nothing is damaged, okay? We want everything moving smoothly just like it is right here. On the power supply, switch to your voltage. It might be defaulted to 220 volts for Asia or Europe, but if you're in the States, okay, you're gonna wanna flip the red switch in the back to the 110 or 115, whatever it says. Just don't use 220 in the States, okay? So overall, such an incredible machine, really a piece of art. And with all of that, you should be ready to print away. Let us know what you think of the Ender-3 Pro 3D printer down in the comments. For specific prices, please check the description or click the link below. My dear Eggheads, this has been CREALITY's Ender-3 Pro 3D printer. I'm Kenan with Newegg Now, and now you know. What's up, Eggheads? Kenan here with Newegg Now, always bringing you the best products for the best prices. In this video, we're looking at the 1000-watt Super Flower Leadex V Gold Pro power supply. This is a really innovative, extremely efficient power supply. In this video, we're even going to take a look inside the PSU so you know exactly what you're getting and why it's so great. So without further ado, let's open the box. All right, so this is everything you get in the box. Of course, you get a user manual, tons of cables, the PCIe, CPU, SATA cables, everything you're going to need in here, as well as a motherboard connector cable that can either be, check this out, 20-pin or, this is very cool, 24-pin. That is just so cool. Notice the size of the Leadex V, okay? This is the smallest 1000-watt ATX PCU. It's 13 centimeters in length. That's just 5.1 inches. Even some ITX computer cases might support it. Just 5.1 inches. That's typical for PCUs of 450 to 600 watt. Again, this is 1000 watts. So this is ridiculously tiny. And you might think that that means Super Flower had to sacrifice performance, but no. The Leadex V Gold Pro is 80 plus gold certified, and it still has a 100% fully modular cable design. Okay, you see that right here, 100% fully modular cable design. At 20, 50, and 100% rated loads, it'll be 89.24%, 91.51%, and 89.94% efficient, respectively. So the smallest size out there, and yet high output. How do they do this? Well, Super Flower has incorporated the concepts from some of their very innovative technology patents. They make traditional 12-volt synchronous rectifiers ultra compact, on one small card and combine that with the transformers. Super Flower calls it Synchronous Rectifier Ultra Miniaturization, SRM. It improves performances and minimizes dimensions. Let's open this up and look at the disassembled PCU to explore this a bit further. Alright, so here we have the disassembled Leadex V Gold Pro, the Synchronous Rectifier Ultra Miniaturization card. The SRM card I just mentioned is right here. Here is your main capacitor. Okay, right over on this side, you'll notice the active PFC design. That stands for power factor correction. Okay, power factor correction, PFC. This type of circuit reduces harmonic distortion in the supply current and creates a current waveform close to a sine wave in order to increase the power factor to a value of 1, the unity factor. All right, so the active PFC design really enhances power efficiency. Here, you've got your LLC resonant converter with your DC to DC platform. All capacitors used are from the largest manufacturer of aluminum electrolytic capacitors worldwide. That's Nippon Chemical NCC, very well known. Here we've got their KMW series capacitors. The main capacitor spec is 400 volts, 560 microfarads, and a temp ranging up to 105 centigrade. Okay, I now want to draw your attention to the Leadex V Gold Pro's patented super connector design, right? Check out these 9 universal connectors which allow CPU, PCIe, SATA, and Molex cables to plug in to any of the sockets. All right, check this out. I got a 9-pin cable here. I can plug this into any single socket on the back here. That's just amazing. All right, use it your way. Ultra flexible flat ribbon cables which maximize the PSU's cable routing. It's got that new patented buckle design which I showed you before to be able to change the 20 pin to the 24 pin. Okay, so what a nice touch by Super Flower. Hopefully you're starting to see why this type of PSU feels like it's ushering in the next generation of PSUs. All of this incredible functionality in a package so small, yet maintaining high efficiency all around, inside and out. Let's go ahead and plug this in and do a live test. Let's see the airflow and RPM in regular daily use. Okay, so we've got the PSU hooked up to a machine. The PSU has a 120mm fan with a unique 11-blade design for high airflow. With pulse width modification, otherwise known as PWM function, the voltage is regulated according to the current demand, providing minimal fan noise. The Eco-Intelligent Thermal Control System has 2 functions, Eco On and Eco Off. That's pretty intuitive, right? With Eco Off, the initial fan RPM is in low RPM status and it'll be automatically triggered according to the internal temperature. With Eco On, the fan will initially be stationary. So right now, this would be Eco On. The fan is stationary. It'll spin when the temperature reaches critical point T2, which is about 136 to 140 Fahrenheit. Then the cooling fan will increase its RPM when temperature rises until reaching a maximal speed of 1700 RPM. When temperature drops to below critical point T1, about 113 to 118 Fahrenheit, the fan will stop. But wait, there's more, just a little bit more. You have dual overpower protection with this PSU. The first level of overpower protection, or OPP, is when it detects and sustains 110 to 120% loading for a continuous 15 seconds or more. The second level of OPP is activated when the load exceeds 130 to 140% for just 1 second. The purpose of this dual OPP is to prevent the PSU from being too sensitive and shutting down towards sudden peak loading at just 110 to 120%. It'll reset the time when the loading goes lower than 110%. All right, Eggheads, that is the 1000-watt Super Flower Leadex V Gold Pro power supply. Cutting-edge SRM technology, the Synchronous Rectifier Ultra Miniaturization. It's what helps them achieve that ultra tiny power supply length of just 5.1 inches while maintaining 80 plus gold standard at 1000 watts. It's tiny, it's quiet, it's got that new patented universal super connector, 2 levels of overpower protection so you can run your devices without feeling worried. My dear Eggheads, the Super Flower Leadex V is something else. It'll make a great holiday gift for you or a friend of yours who enjoys premium quality products. I've had great fun opening this up and exploring it with you. Let us know what you think about the Leadex V Gold Pro in the comments or reviews. For current prices, please check the description or click that link below. I'm Kenan with Newegg Now, and now you know.
Hi guys, Greg here for Newegg. How many of you usually take a power bank in your bag or pocket along with you when you go out? I bet it's the vast majority of you, and it looks something just like this, right? We have a large USB power out port so you can plug your phone in here to charge it. Oh, what's this over here? We also have a USB-C power in port. That's convenient. But look, hey, it opens up. And ta-da, what have we got here? This is pretty cool. Our earbuds are all in here, nice and charged up. Now guess what? The power bank is actually the charging case. So we get a really convenient 2-for-1. Bring your power bank with you and your earbuds right along for free. Let's check out some of the other cool features here. In the center, we have a digital readout informing us clearly how much battery life we have left in the power bank. And then we also have separate readouts for the left and right earbud, letting us know the independent charging status and remaining power level in each earbud. To use these earbuds is super simple. Once they've been paired for the first time, just take one out of the case, like this, and it will pair automatically with the last device you paired it with. It also has these cool and beautiful green lights that breathe when charging or once connected to your phone to let you know like, hey, we're connected. The nifty thing too is that these earbuds use TWS technology, which stands for True Wireless Stereo, and it's the latest trend in advanced Bluetooth technology. You can use them independently, just one bud in your left ear for example, then left and right channel will automatically be merged, so you'll get the full audio program, not just the left channel. Then you can leave your right ear free to hear all of what's going on around you. Or you can even go with each bud being connected to totally separate Bluetooth devices, so you can be really flexible with their usage. Maybe you want to go with all of your music in the left ear from one device and your navigation device connected to your right ear with another one telling you when to turn. Whatever, you can get creative here. The sky's the limits. Another important point to take note of too is that we're using something called Bluetooth 5.0 low energy standard in these earbuds. Devices can use data transfer speeds of up to 2 Mbps, million bits per second, which is double what Bluetooth 4.2 supports. Devices can also communicate over a distance of up to about 800 feet or 240 meters, which is 4 times the 200 feet or 60 meters was allowed by Bluetooth 4.2. Now that's pretty cool, huh? With this bandwidth, we should also have less chance for errors. And hey, who wants to have errors in their music, right? Especially with these 8mm drivers bringing some nice, clear sound and tight bass. In the past, with Bluetooth 4.2, wireless headphones couldn't communicate over Bluetooth low energy. So they had to use the more classic, power-hungry Bluetooth Classic standard instead. With Bluetooth 5.0, all audio devices communicate over Bluetooth low energy, which means reduced power usage and longer battery life. So our earbuds can now deliver about 7 hours of music or 5 hours of talk time on each charge. That's about enough to enjoy a full day of work with music. I mean, we all love to work with music, and you know that maybe 1 hour we should take for lunch, and then you're gonna have to take them out, enjoy some real live social interaction with your colleagues before you pop them back in and tune into your space to finish up your 8-hour workday. The battery in the charging case is rated at 3,500 milliamp hour, so you can totally get about 120 hours of playtime from this nifty, neat little package. Lastly, one more very awesome point about these earbuds is that they are IPX7. I mean, like, wow! Why am I so excited about that? Because technically speaking, you could go swimming with these earbuds. Not that I endorse or recommend doing so, as who knows, what the chemicals are in your pool, how they'll interact with the metal in the charging contacts, and the internal polymers and the little orifices. But hey, if you want to give it a go on your own, technically speaking, from a water ingression point of view, you're good to go. With IPX7, we are fully waterproof up to about 1 meter, or 3 feet roughly for all your Americans out there that don't do metric, and up to 30 minutes at that depth. Sweating in the gym, jogging in the rain, definitely it's no problem for these guys. Swimming on the surface, seems possible, but if they pop out of your ear and sink to the bottom of the pool, sorry Charlie, you may be slightly out of luck. And there you have it. That's a wrap for today on our nifty NEK X200 earbuds. I'm Greg for Newegg, signing off. Hi guys, Greg here for Newegg. If you have a laptop with only 1 or 2 USB-A ports and have a bunch of items you want to connect to it, or you're tired of reaching down to get to the ports in the back of your desktop and you want to move all that connectivity to a place that's really convenient for you, enter the Atolla USB 3.0 hub. And we have right here on the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 USB 3.0 ports. But what's really cool is that each port has its own individual power switch. Now people might ask, well, hey Greg, so why is that important? The answer is that the less frequently you plug and unplug accessories from USB ports, the longer the ports will last and keep a good, solid, tight connection. The last thing you want when you're transferring your important data around is to have a loose and unstable connection port, where you might end up losing data and corrupting files. And we all know just how annoying it feels when that happens, right? So by leaving your accessories always just plugged in and simply switching on and off the port, you greatly reduce the potential risk at the connection point. And who wants to always be plugging and unplugging, right? Well, that leads to the next question. Greg, so then why do we need to have individual power switches? Why can't we just leave all 7 accessories plugged in all the time anyway? Well, there are a few reasons. But before I get into that, I would like to point out to you that this hub also features a 2.4 amp charging point at the tip, which could be for your mobile phone or tablet, etc. This is indeed very convenient. But let's keep in mind that the power supply to this hub is rated with an output of up to 4 amp, which is therefore the maximum current we can draw out of this hub. So if you have 7 accessories connected to the hub, and at the same time, then remember that some of your accessories may draw power even when you're not using them if they're connected. While at the same time you're charging your phone off the hub, you may exceed the 4 amp which the hub's power supply is rated for, and that's not a good idea. As some of your connections, they may then start to become unstable. Hence the benefit of having individual power switches, so you can leave all 7 items plugged in, but just switch some off to ensure that they're not drawing power that may put you over the 4 amp limit. Another point is that you may just like to ensure an item is totally disconnected from your computer. For example, maybe you want to be totally sure your webcam is disconnected when you are explicitly not wanting to be watched. Well, in that case, you can feel totally secure because you've 100% cut it off at the hub. What else I've noticed about this hub that looks promising is the connection cable is a thick, heavy-duty, super high-speed USB cable that should be able to handle well the throughput of your 7 USB 3.0 data ports that each offers transfer speeds of up to 5 Gbps, and of course are backwards compatible with older versions of USB. Each individual port also has its own blue LED light that lights up when the port is activated to let you know it's now connected. And a smart feature of the power switch is that you need to fully depress and hold down the switch to power off the port for at least 2 seconds before the port will indeed turn off. This will definitely help to eliminate the chance of accidentally power off an accessory with a big finger of yours and losing data. Again, something you really don't want to ever have happen to you. And there you have it. That's a wrap for me, Big G on Newegg Tech Talk, signing off. Hi guys, Greg here for Newegg. what I'd like to talk to you guys today about is this. This is a Wavelink USB 3.0 SATA hard drive disk enclosure. What this will allow you to do is to be able to take a 2.5 inch disk that has a SATA connector on it and put it into a case so that you can bring it around with you whenever you travel, anywhere basically. Because those little 2.5 inch SATA disks, you can't use them unless you're going to plug it into a dock or you're going to install it inside a computer usually. So what do you do with them? Well, I have a little one like this sitting around on my desk at home. When I got this case to review it, I found this is really cool because this was actually a disk that was sitting in my laptop computer that I hadn't used for some time, and I was wondering what was on this disk. And I know actually sometimes it happens, maybe your other component of your laptop crashes and you don't want to fix it anymore, so you got these disks sitting around. How can you use them again? How can you get your data out of them? It's kind of annoying. You got to put it in dock, transfer every data to maybe another storage media. But what you can do with this case is really cool because you just take the case, you take your disk, and you snap it in there, right? And put the cover on, you're good to go. It's ready for you to use it just like this. It doesn't need an external power supply. It doesn't need anything else to get it going. And it's now just the same as one of those commercially prepared small 2.5 inch drives that you would buy in a shop somewhere for a lot more money. It has this little port here. You plug your USB cable into it and you plug the other end into your computer and you're good to go. The USB, of course, is backwards compatible. This is USB 3.0, but it's backwards compatible with older versions of USB. And this is going to work on Windows. It's going to work on Mac. It's hot swappable. You don't need to turn the computer on and off to unplug it. It works just the way it is. And what's good about this as well is that we're transferring at 5 Gbps, but we're also using something called UASP. Now, UASP is a USB attached SCSI protocol. It performs up to 70% faster when you compare to conventional USB 3.0 bot that we were using before. And when you have a compatible host controller, the UASP comes with another benefit, and it requires less processor resources, actually up to about 80% savings. So when you get read and write speeds now over 300 Mbps, you'll feel like your disk is connected right to the SATA port when you're using this case with the UASP, but in fact you're just going through USB 3. That means you're going to be wasting a lot fewer time for your transfers to go over, and your computer is going to be faster while you're working on other applications because you're not using as much of the CPU on the transfer, and the CPU is now freed up to do other things. The case is really light, it's very portable, it's going to keep your disk really secure, and you can even make it more secure. There's little holes on the bottom here where you can put in set screws so that the disk is really nice and firmly in here. I mean, you don't need to do that all the time, just you wanted to change them a couple times, you didn't need to put the set screws in. But if you're going to make it kind of more like a permanent installation, put the set screws in and you're good, steady, and secure. So this is a really little handy box. I'm sure there's other ones on the market that you could buy that are pretty cheap and maybe the quality is questionable, but when I looked at this one compared to ones that I've had before, I found it's not bad actually. The disk in there is pretty secure. The case cover opens and closes nicely. It just snaps really securely into place. And I tested it out with my old disk that I had around my home. It worked perfectly, and I would actually use this myself. So that's my introduction for this lovely little case, and I'll be looking forward to be talking to you about next product when you come back to me. I'm Big G, signing off. That's all for now.